no. This Leo had it all figured out.
Yeah, well,
I'm like, ooh,
this
you a
March
class
baby did
2
it.
and you a class 3.
I
and
did
this
it.
is a crown right here. I'm gonna stay late and pick up some root canal people.
Listen,
and I know what to do. I'm not charging you for X-rays because that's not a point. You know what a point is? A crown.
See, I didn't have any of that.
I
did not.
I had the whole thing figured out in 3 months. I had that whole game figured out. I'm selling patients.
But
no,
that's
I never did that.
You're like,
I'm
the
organized.
business.
I'm
you're
like,
the mind.
I
you're
look
organized.
through the system and I'm like, this procedure requires 1 check. This procedure requires 2 checks. The guy who works on Friday always checks everything. So I'm going to schedule it on Friday when he's going to check it. Maybe check it twice.
We all did that. Come on. I always chose the guy that was like early onset Alzheimer's. He didn't even remember where he was most of the time. Yes, everyone did that move.
Easy.
That was a move, but I didn't have plans.
Figured out.
Your plans had plans. I had no plans.
Not planned. I graduated. I finished my clinical practice 6 months early.
The mediocre dentist. The mediocre dentist. 'Cause sometimes you just feel mediocre. The mediocre dentist. The mediocre dentist. I am mediocre. You are mediocre. And that's not that bad.
Beginning of third year, we start seeing patients. They get us right into the clinic.
Okay.
So we're in Bay instructors, and because I'm so personable and charming, I'm starting to do well. My clinical skills are mediocre at best, but I'm charming the instructor. We have a Bay leader.
Yeah. Oh, we had that.
He's like a 40-year-old guy. We click. We click.
Okay.
We talking sports. We're talking gambling.
Ooh, distraction technology. I like it.
We have a lot in common. What he loves, I love, and we just boys.
You get him every time? Ours switched up all the time.
No, we have a Bay instructor. He's the one in charge of like us 10. We have 10 third years, 10 fourth years. And I'm charming. And we are boys. And he doesn't take like shit from like people. He hates like he hates nosy people. I think he hated ethnicities too. So I was good. Right. White, I was good.
You can't say that. What the hell is that?
I'm just saying.
See, I was the exact opposite of you. Like I couldn't handle when people were discriminated, and it happened hugely at our school too. And I was like that chick, and it started in high school. Like, you bully people, I'm gonna take you down. I will stand. I will protect. No, but you were letting somebody like be discriminated against. They probably made that person's life hell.
He liked the men students who were smart and fun and charming, which I was.
How atypical for society.
Anyway, I'm doing real well because not only am I charming the instructor, I'm also charming the 4th year students. And they have the currency, which is the patients.
Yeah.
So I'm getting good patients. And when the patients come in to the Philadelphia dental school, you have to realize somebody who comes to a dental school clinic, like they have fallen on hard times.
Hard times, yeah.
You are hard. If you're getting your dentistry done at a dental school, like something very wrong with you. Like you have fallen on hard times.
Or you just like to chat for a long time. Like those were 3-hour visits, whether you liked it or not. I don't know how it was for you guys. We had morning, afternoon. And
I'm charming. And I'm working it, and dental school turned out okay. I got checked off real easy. Yeah. Got through the requirements real easy, and that was my dental school. What happened when you went to patients, live patients?
Live patients? I mean, that didn't happen for most people. Like it was into 3rd year. We were still in the dentiform for the beginning parts, like doing the last little bits of competencies. Some people barely started seeing patients in all of 3rd year.
Wow.
Imagine that. So, I was talking about the people that like had their asses handed to them or they were discriminated against. It's just like they got targeted. Like people in my class developed like legit like medical conditions and like debilitating anxiety. And just watching the inequity, like you take a look at their prep and you're like, that's fucking money. Like that's beautiful. That's like exquisite, yet the Bay instructors or the people that were grading it just had it out for them for no good reason. They got pegged and they didn't make it through. And that wasn't my reality. I was lucky I got into seeing patients early on, but I like didn't understand the assignment. I didn't have like that competitive edge in me. I didn't like strategize. I wasn't like trying to secure things. I was just kind of like, I'm a Pisces And I was just kind of like,
oh, no. This Leo had it all figured out.
Yeah, well.
I'm like, ooh, you a class 2 and you a class 3.
I did
This is a crown right here. I'm going to stay late and pick up some root canal people.
Listen.
And I know what to do. I'm not charging you for x-rays because that's not a point. You know what a point is? A crown.
See, I didn't have any of that.
I
did not.
I had the whole thing figured out in 3 months. I had that whole game figured out. I'm selling patients.
But
no,
that's
I never did that.
You're like,
I'm
the
organized.
business.
I'm
you're
like,
the mind,
I look
organized.
through the system and I'm like, this procedure requires 1 check. This procedure requires 2 checks. The guy who works on Friday always checks everything. So I'm going to schedule it on Friday when he's going to check it. Maybe check it twice.
We all did that. Come on. I always chose the guy that was like early onset Alzheimer's. He didn't even remember where he was most of the time. Yes, everyone did that move.
Easy.
That was a move, but I didn't have plans.
Figured out.
Your plans had plans. I had no plans.
Not planned. I graduated. I finished my clinical program 6 months early. I had a baby.
True story. And this wasn't just for me, but because we had such like limited access to people, and we started the clinical game so late, we literally, I think I did 2 crown preps. I don't even know, like whatever the competencies were, they accepted for our year. And I think for years after that, you didn't even actually have to accomplish all of the clinical procedures.
That is disgraceful.
It is.
In the University of Pennsylvania Dental School, you had to go through everything.
You just had to try your best to get through it, and a lot of people did. There were the strategic people. They were there in the class. We had the people that were the shysters, and they would keep the patients late, and they would do all these extra procedures.
I didn't do that. I didn't do anything nobody needed, but I knew what people needed, how much points were, how many points I needed, how things worked. I actually gave away like tons of points to one of my best friends in dental school, Kathleen Lever, if you're out there. I gave her a whole bunch of points to do at the end of class because I didn't need them.
I was never on the receiving end of points.
But I was on the receiving end of points from 4th grade because I used my charm. Fourth grade. The 4th years who were graduating who didn't need point, I got handed down some great stuff. I got handed down an implant. That was like 1 trillion points.
Yeah.
Back in 1971 when
Not
I was
doing
dental school.
Not my reality.
All right, so you make it through the gamut that is clinical, which is partly skills, but really partly organizational skills / part charming. Can we get these poor individuals who came to the dental school to trust us to do procedures, and they actually have to pay for the procedures and know the procedures to do? I don't know. And then you graduate dental school and you feel like I made it.
Yeah.
Except you didn't.
No, you don't know your ass from your elbow yet.
See, now one part that separates us.
Yes.
In North America, in the United States of America, and particularly in the Northeast, you graduate, you hit all your requirements, and then something comes called the NERBS.
A NERB? Ooh, sounds like something I might want to eat.
The NERBS.
What is it?
I'm just going to let it settle in
NERB?
to the podcast audience because everybody who knows what I'm talking about, their heart rate just went up a little bit. And if you're in your car or on a treadmill, I just want you to go, he knows me. Or if you take the Western Regional Boards. But the NERBS stands for the Northeast Regional Boards.
Okay.
And it is an archaic exam that you have to take to be a dentist in the Northeast of the United States.
Okay.
And it involves patients coming into the clinic, real people, and you doing real procedures on them.
What if they get sick and they don't come in?
Then you don't graduate.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So do you have to have like a backup plan?
A backup and a backup. And we're not dealing with like the middle class of Philadelphia here at the university. We dealing with homeless people.
I'm going to be like, you're spending the night at my house. Yeah, okay, here we go. I'll get you there. Okay,
we would take a $100 bill
already.
And we would rip it.
Yeah.
And we would give them half when we diagnose them, and I go, the other half you get if you show up for the test.
Actually.
100%.
Wow.
100%.
That's
and now you got to do procedures on it. And every time you do a procedure on them, which was preordained beforehand of what you're going to do, because you already diagnosed them, it gets judged. So you get them numb.
Yeah.
Cut the prep, gets judged.
Right.
By an older group of white men.
I knew you wanted to say white. What is with this?
That's the way it is. The Northeast Regional Board of Examiners, for maybe it's changed now, but back then was a group of angry old white men.
Okay.
And if they found anything wrong with your prep, they would give you an X and you would not become a dentist. Good luck next year, because they only give the test twice a year.
Oh, seriously? So you could like pass all your competencies, kind of graduate from dental school, but you're still not like licensed to practice until you do this.
They are called you Dr. Galler, who has no dental license. You cannot get a dental license in New York State unless you have a passing grade on the NERBS.
Okay.
If you think I threw up before a microbiology test, I basically went into a small coma before these tests. You have to do a class 2, a class 3, and you have to do a 3-unit bridge on a typodont, and then a root canal on a central on a typodont.
Okay.
And you have to take a written test. Most vomitations, and people fail. People fail all the time. It's like a 20% fail rate.
Oh, wow. They like that stuff, hey? They like, just like those little obstacles along the way. It's like how they get their jollies.
It's like
it's a weird, like,
you graduated dental school.
Yeah.
And you got to pass this test, or you're not a dentist. Now, you had nothing like this.
We did not have that. No, we had our dental boards.
Like a written multiple choice test? We had that too.
Yeah, I mean, it was weird.
Did you have a physical exam?
No.
To see if you could hold a handpiece?
No.
You see if you could look in a mirror?
No.
Can you cut a box?
We didn't have time for that shit. We were literally just going into clinical like at the end of 3rd year. We just had to get right to it. We didn't have time for your crazy thing. You had way too much time on your hands. I think you did the whole like dental school thing a little too quickly, and then we were just like making up some stuff at the end, just to like make it work.
20% of the people fail the test and they can't become a dentist. It's like going through Navy SEAL boot camp, and then you survive and you in the water and you freezing, and they still don't pick you.
And now a word from this episode's sponsor. I know we swore we would not have sponsors, but the money was too good and we sold out.
Today's episode is sponsored by Clear.
It's not clear to me what you mean, David.
Oh, nice. I'm going to look into the sphere of the future, and I will tell you, dentists hate dealing with dental insurance companies.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Fewer and fewer Americans are getting dental insurance. Mm-hmm. But people always feel like they want to have a deal. People don't like feeling they have paying full price. So what do? Clear. Clear is a company that will come in and set up an in-office insurance plan in your practice. Hate dealing with a rejection from Cigna, Aetna, Delta. Well, if you run your own insurance company, you won't reject your own claims.
It's pretty intuitive.
They have an end-to-end system. They can go into any office, set up a patient. You could say to your patient, you could give us insurance, you could pay full, or you can go into our office insurance plan, buy insurance, something happens, you're covered in our office, copay, bang. Monthly fee, they have it all figured out.
Brilliant and crystal clear.
Are we sold out? Well, we sold out.
I love you comparing that to something that is like legitimately like the hardest thing in the entire fucking world.
It's hard.
David Galler, to quote Kimberly Holmes, you're just a dentist.
Yeah.
You are not a Navy SEAL, dude. Calm your tits.
I think I was.
Okay. Let's dial back. Let's get back on track here. Where were we?
We're in the dental journey.
We graduated?
We graduated dental school. One of us passed a clinical test to say to North America, this person is safe to work on humans. Yeah. One person did not pass a test. We don't know. You could have gotten through based on your looks.
I know.
Like there's no universal
You're like literally
test.
playing up to every stereotype and like my worst insecurities that like I'm not taken seriously as a human. And I'm like, that's what it is? Is that what I am? No, it's not that. You just say it all the time. Okay, I get it.
Now,
all right.
Now we graduate dental school. We passed the dental licensing test. Yeah. And now what happens in the journey? Now you have to go to work.
You guys do residency. I think that's like part of your game.
So we do a residency.
We don't have to, but a lot of Canadians do. And I had some friends that actually went down to New York, in fact.
So I went to do a residency. I went to do residency at the Brooklyn Veterans Hospital. And we in a hospital of veterans, and we doing dentistry on them for free. and I'm practicing my skills.
Okay.
What did you do first year out?
So before I even graduated, I already had an office that was getting built for me from scratch. And I was just waiting to get that NDEB, that was our National Dental Boards, and get back the results. And I went straight into pretty much.
It is fascinating.
Ownership. And I did.
How much clinical I needed to do.
I'm really looking back at it all, and none of it makes sense. I know the hoops they make you jump through.
General, you have to understand, I did 18 months of preclinical, 2 years of clinical, then another year of residency, and you just went out of dental school one day, and next day you're in a little cute shop practice, people paying you for dentistry.
It's called the practice of dentistry for a reason, because you're practicing our whole career. So I was practicing, albeit like a little bit less well in the beginning, but I was practicing. I was a dentist. I had a doctor, and I knew what I needed to do, and I just needed to get better at it.
And at that point, when you started out that first year while I'm in residency, do you feel like you made it?
In the first year of residency that I didn't do?
My first year of residency, your first year of practice, ownership. Do you feel like you finally made it? Or did you feel mediocre?
I felt a lot of things. Mediocre might have been one of them.
I kind of felt mediocre.
No, because I was annoyed. I was annoyed by my dental school education. Straight out the gate, I was mad actually, because I felt like I was not prepared for the moment. Yes, I had a lot of those feelings because I legitimately probably was inadequately prepared to go out into the world, not only clinically, but practice management. Did you have anything on that? We didn't get a single. We had one fake thing we had to go through it, but we learned nothing. So I'm going into it. I'm like, okay, you're a dentist now. The next thing you do is you become a dentist. I was lucky. I was given an opportunity in an amazing area to be able to grow a practice from scratch. I literally did not know my ass from my elbow. I didn't know what I was doing clinically. I was just kind of working through the motions. And all I really had to go on was people skills. I liked people. I liked making them happy. I liked making them comfortable. And I literally rode that wave. I
feel mediocre.
I felt mediocre and underprepared.
And I felt mediocre. So let's review where we're at.
Okay.
We're in high school working our asses off.
Yeah.
Now we're in college working our asses off.
Mm-hmm.
In lab.
Yes.
Then we get into dental school, take the dental aptitude test, feel mediocre, pass the interview, get into dental school, get our ass handed to us again, either with sciences and test, or clinically, pre-clinically, you're failing woke courses. I'm passing out in school. Everybody's feeling mediocre. You take a test that scares the living shit out of everyone, hoping a homeless person in Philadelphia comes for the test. You graduate, I get stuck in a hospital, you're already in a clinic, and both of us feel
mediocre.
Then we work. Work.
I don't know about you.
We take anybody. I take any patient. I take anybody.
I literally
You come in with one shoe,
0.
I'll take you.
Absolutely.
I take anybody.
I can top that too, because when did you grad? What was your year?
Graduate 2003.
Well, I graduated into an economic depression. Thank you, America. That was cute. So I'm 250 in the hole, okay? Broke as shit. I've just gone directly into practice ownership. So take on even another $1 million of debt or whatever it was back then. And I come right into an economic downturn.
And did you feel amazing, above average, mediocre, or below average?
I felt fucking terrified. I was none of the above. I'm going to create my own category.
Mediocre.
I was mediocre. I was more than mediocre, and I was...
When does the happiness start? Because it's been a long ride since high school. And we ain't at the happiness yet, right?
I can't say that I wasn't happy. I was naive. So I was blissfully unaware of the financial peril I found myself in. I think this is a common theme for my life. But in terms of the situation, in terms of the profession of dentistry, yes, I was abundantly clear to me that I didn't know what I was doing from a practice management standpoint.
Now we graduate 5 years, 10 years, 15 years in practice for you.
Yep.
And you have 4 ops now. you're making it into 8.
9.
9, because you kind of feel mediocre, right?
I see everybody
little
around
practice tucked away in a suburb of Vancouver make you feel like a superstar or make you feel mediocre?
I feel like there's others that are trending more.
Say
amazingly.
The words for the audience.
Oh wow, this is like AA. Hi, my name is Dr. Andrea, and
even after 15 fucking years
17
in the game, you still feeling mediocre.
I still feel mediocre. It's a truth. It's the truth.
And
Can't escape it.
Ladies and gentlemen, is the journey of the dentist.
Let's be real.
Let's be real. No part of the dental journey was fun.
Let's be real. I 100% agree with that.
Let's be real. You know when people say, it's not the destination, it's the journey? Mm-hmm. That's bullshit. Because the journey was not fun and still is not fun. Let's be real. Sometimes I wonder if I should have been a professional comedian instead of an actual dentist.
Let's be real.
And we're back. And today's guest is Dr. Chris Hart from South Dakota. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
All right. Well, here in this segment of our show, we call this the DATs.
Dental anxiety test. Dental anxiety test.
Bring up any memories?
Bring up any memories? Are you ready for the DATs?
Probably not, but let's go.
Let's do it. All right, for our listening audience out there, Dr. Chris Hart is an extremely successful dentist from South Dakota. But fun fact, before he was a dentist, he was a hygienist. So he knows a little bit about everything. Ooh. Everything. Also has advanced degrees in sleep apnea, real TMD stuff, not made up stuff. So we're dealing with one of the most educated people we've ever had on our set here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Knows hygienist, knows dentist, knows everything, a family man. Chris, we're happy to have you here. See, the DATs here on the set of the Mediocre Dentist podcast, it stands for the Dental Anxiety Test.
Okay, all right. I can pass this one then.
We want to see if you have anxiety or not.
Okay, all right.
Because we feel that every dentist, at some point,
feels a little mediocre.
Yeah,
a little less than.
And it don't make sense because so many of us are successful and working for decades, and yet in the back of our minds, some of us feel a little bit
less than.
And this is the podcast where we talk about that.
I'm in the right place.
You're in the right place.
There are people.
You're among friends.
Yeah.
So there's listeners, there are thousands of listeners, who listen to other podcasts. And then some of them say, listen to this podcast because we have tens of listeners. But those 10 people listening, 9 people, because one of them is my dad. Out of those 8 people listening, I think you can make a difference in their life if they knew that someone like you was sometimes just a little bit insecure. So let's see if you have some anxiety. Now,
okay.
How many years ago did you graduate dental school?
2008.
2008.
Yeah.
Happy memories, nervous memories, scary memories.
2008, happy. Yeah.
2006.
Yeah, I was nervous up until I got the diploma in my hand, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're 17 years out, right? You're 7, right? Am I doing my math right?
I'm
17 years out.
Yeah.
17 years out. Ever go to sleep at night and you flashback?
Sometimes.
Sometimes,
yeah.
Scary?
What does it look like?
I think, I already had kids at that time, so everything was riding on that. So it was just until I had the diploma in my hand, I just,
Scary.
Wanted to make sure I wasn't making a big life mistake. Yeah.
Now, a lot of people don't know, but I know because I lecture around the world, really around the country. And really, when I say around, mostly around the continental USA. And really mostly in the major markets of the city. Mostly in Las Vegas, truthfully. I don't really travel. I'm mostly just lecture in Las Vegas. I would go if somebody else called. I would go, but they usually don't call. But when I lecture, sometimes I come across hygienists, and sometimes I talk about dental school, and we always have interviews here, and we talk about the horrors of dental school. Little known fact: however bad you think dental school is, hygiene school, 1,000 times worse.
What is that about?
Well, I don't know. Well, now we can get to the truth. Tell the world which one was worse. Hygiene. I'm talking instructor, beaten down, POW, feeling less than. What was worse, hygiene school or dental school?
Definitely hygiene school was way worse.
See, it's true.
Yeah.
This is a mediocre dentist podcast hot take right from the set. All hygiene school harder than dental school.
I think the academics in dental school were definitely harder, but like the bar for professionalism, for perfection, definitely. Like you always had to be on, or you were always being told if you're falling short. Versus
in hygiene school?
In hygiene school, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
I have no idea.
Okay, give us the story of the worst day in hygiene school.
Okay.
Specifics. Just many specifics without us getting sued for defamation.
I'd probably say we went to maximum security prison.
Oh, shit.
And,
that seems like a bad idea.
Yeah, well.
Why max security? Like, why not like a level or two?
Why? Well, that makes total sense to me. Let's take 30 young females and one male, and let's bring them into a place of killers and rapists.
Yeah. Well,
and let them work in their mouths.
What could go wrong?
That was so it was me and one other guy, and pretty much we were reserved for the worst. So they would kind of send us to where there had to be a guard. Yeah.
But also intelligence.
Wherever.
Like who would send a woman into a max security death penalty?
Why were they there?
Row?
I still have questions as to why we're actually even entering that building. Because there are many prisons, I presume, in America.
They need dentistry too.
Not by young, unsuspecting.
Yeah, true that.
Yeah, no. That's a bad match.
I was expendable. I think I was expendable. I think they looked at me and they're like,
the guys were expendable.
Yeah.
Oh God. Okay. So you're going in. What?
I'm sweating.
I'm sweating too. Am I going? Are we going to? Do we have to work in prison? I'm sweating too. Okay, go. Sorry.
I've never been in prison, but it seems to me from observations that there aren't a lot of priorities, but smoking and coffee drinking, I'm pretty sure are pretty high on the list because the teeth that I had to clean were black.
Oh, nice.
And so I thought, you just clean a few teeth here and there. I thought, well, wouldn't it be fun to say that you carved your initials in somebody's teeth? And this is a maximum security prison. This is probably not the brightest thing I ever did. Well, it turns out I was only assigned 2 teeth, so there was some guy still there with CH in the back of his teeth, and I was sweating. I was going to swear I was going to get kicked out. The next student would come in and say, "Hey, this guy's got initials CH. Isn't that Chris Hart's initials?" So yeah, that was probably my worst story.
Wow, that's intense.
Yeah. So whoever cleaned his teeth after, I hope they just cleaned them and then
got rid of it.
Kept my secret.
It?
Yeah.
Yeah. Wasn't wearing loops.
That's intense.
No loops at that time.
No loops.
I've heard stories.
You had an outside shot.
Yeah. I've heard a story in hygiene school where like you're not wearing the right shoes and they send you home.
Yeah. No
hair's
color,
not in the right spot. They
Socks.
send you home.
Yeah.
Yep.
This a little calculus, they'll make you cry.
Yep. Pretty much.
Why?
Yeah. I think. Just to make sure that bar is high. I don't know.
Why? What happened to your little calculus? I want to open up. We should open up a business. I have a business proposition.
A hygiene school? No.
Yeah.
Well, might not be a bad idea.
I'm gonna open up a school called Happy Hygiene School, and everybody happy, and the instructors will come over and give you a hug at the end of the day. And we take transfer students. Any hygiene students ever break down? You ever see classmate break down?
Oh yeah.
What happened?
Cry, leave the room.
Anybody drop out?
Yeah, actually, yeah.
Drop out of
Saw a
hygiene
couple.
school.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a rite of passage.
Yeah.
It's like
Why?
a weird, odd, bizarre thing that is expected to happen because people who go into the program,
Yep.
like they don't run for the hills. They go through it.
Yeah.
They actively understand what they are about to sign on for.
Yeah.
And then they're just like, yeah, this is what's going to happen. I'm going to just make it through to the other side. I'm going to feel like I earned my stripes.
Yep.
And I'm ready to take on the world. It's so weird. It makes no sense.
Makes no sense.
It makes no sense when you think about it.
Because you know what
but it's
happens
just how
if
it
you
goes.
leave plaque for 6 months or calculus?
For some people, it's a problem. For some, I disagree.
What
For
will
some
happen
people, it's
to
a
my overall patient's health if by accident we left a spicule of tartar
Okay,
next to their premolar?
You're saying spicule, but a person who left a spicule probably left that everywhere, and maybe they do have a problem, or maybe you're just like burnishing calculus onto surfaces, and you're having persistent periodontitis, gingivitis, whatever. These
At
are
a happy
problems.
hygiene school, we're okay with that. As long as you're happy.
It's gonna be interesting for a college to get behind that, but hey,
Or we just
I
show you how
believe
to
if
do it.
anybody
And
could bring
Fridays
this to
you
life, it'd
clean-
be you.
And Fridays you clean every other tooth.
Yeah.
Only the even numbers.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's cute.
That's how we do it.
He's
I
helping
like
you with
that.
the business.
I had a
now.
colleague that would do that. She's like, if they're rude, I clean every other tooth. When I was a hygienist, yeah.
As a hygienist,
Yes.
you didn't practice long as a hygienist, but I have heard sometimes hygienists on a monotonous day, just one after the other, sometimes they're cleaning the scaling, they forget where they are, and they start scaling the same teeth again.
Yeah.
Ooh.
You ever lose track?
Yeah, I did. Mm-hmm.
Just
Yeah, for sure. Just start halfway over, and you at least know you covered all your bases. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
just go over again. You ever been like calling out probing to the assistant, and it's like 3, 2, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 3, 1, 1, 1, 1, and then you're like, cool, you're on number 15. She's like, oh, we're doing the top?
Yeah. Yes, absolutely.
All right, let's get into it. Now you're a dentist, super
Okay,
successful. How many ops do you have?
9 ops.
9 ops, crushing it. Name in South Dakota, certainly in the community.
Yeah.
Well-known commodity. Sunday night, 5 p.m. You start feeling a little sad?
I don't.
Nothing.
No. No.
Oh,
Well,
You
we're
didn't
gonna.
Is that good for my
What people
score?
can't see at home is that his wife is here in the studio with us. She's just off camera over here, so I'm gonna pose that she's not mic'd up, but she'll just give us a thumb up, thumb down. Chris, Sunday night, 6 p.m. Just a little happiness gone from him. Really?
wow.
Happy? You work Monday?
I do. Yeah.
You still happy Sunday night? Never little tension? Never nervous?
Nope.
Huh.
You're a better person than we are.
Yeah. That's
When I was a
okay.
hygienist,
You're
I
the
did.
first guest we've ever had say that.
No Sunday scaries.
No.
Huh.
When I was a hygienist, that would start Saturday afternoon, though.
Oh, wow.
I would start being
This is-
depressed because Sunday was the day before Monday.
Wow.
So yeah, that was.
So the hygiene version of Dr. Hart was more nervous than the dental version of Dr. Hart.
Yeah.
That's fascinating.
That's fucked up. Explain that. Wow. All right, to our hygiene audience out there, the mediocredentist@gmail.com. Please let us know when your Sunday scaries, because this is our first interview, and he said it started Saturday, 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
A full 36 hours before showtime.
Pretty much. Yeah.
All right. You're in South Dakota. You're in Saw Falls. What's the name of your suburb?
Mitchell.
Mitchell.
Home of the world's only corn palace.
Yeah, amen to that. And you flipping through your periodical, just a local newspaper,
Yep.
and on page 6, you see an advertisement for another dentist in Mitchell. What's your first reaction? I think we got it already.
No,
See
I.
that? You're like, I'm gonna fuck them up. I'm gonna show them what this hygienist can do.
You know, I think in the beginning of my practice, so when I started my practice, it was pretty much from scratch. Yeah, I definitely had a strong competitive drive. I don't feel like I have that so much anymore. I mean, I'm definitely competitive, but our practice is very unique and compared to some of the other practices. So I don't necessarily feel that so much anymore.
But a little bit.
Maybe a little bit. Yeah.
Still.
Yeah. Still.
Still.
Yeah. You just want to know that you're
Better than everybody.
something like that. Yeah.
You're not mediocre.
No.
You better.
I try.
You're badgering the witness. Calm down.
You come in Monday and you're all just super happy because you weren't even nervous the night before. And you think everything's going to go amazing. And you just happen to flip through the schedule. And on Monday morning, unbeknownst to you, you see it Tuesday afternoon, John Voldemort's coming in. Yeah. What goes through your head?
Yeah, that's definitely something that would hang with me. Did I do all the proper follow-up? Did I promise to call the endodontist for a second opinion? Did I actually do it? Did he respond and then I didn't write it in the chart? How did I leave things last time? Is he going to sue me? All these crazy things.
You think about it Monday night?
If I knew the next day, yeah, for sure I would.
Drive to work Tuesday?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, pretty much until the appointment's done.
Until the appointment's done.
Yeah.
And then probably a little bit after that too. Is that those ones they never
possibly
just go?
Yeah.
You know why? Because in your heart of hearts, you're a mediocre guy.
Maybe that's it. Probably.
That's it.
Probably.
He's the only guy who knows, though. He's gonna blow your cover.
Yeah.
You've held on for a long time. It's been impressive how long you've held it.
Yeah. No. I hear you.
People start now when you're a mediocre. Then I would be nervous too. I'd be nervous Monday night too. This guy's gonna blow your cover.
That's what I think. All kidding aside, yeah, that is exactly the voice that every dentist hears. I don't care how many initials you have.
No. Doesn't matter that you got
doesn't
the
matter.
diplomat of this and that.
You already mentioned the voice. We're gonna get it to the voice.
Go for it.
Yeah. So you are torquing down. Do you place implants?
Yep.
Okay. You're torquing down the crown. Okay.
Yep.
All right. It's turning. You're turning. You're turning. You're turning. It's still turning. You're asking yourself, like, how much? Like, I thought I was there.
Yeah.
I'm not there. I'm still turning. Do you get that little voice in the back of your head that's telling you?
You stripped the screw. You stripped the screw.
Yeah.
You stripped the screw.
Whole implant's coming out.
Yeah.
Or maybe the whole thing coming out.
Yeah.
You have a voice in your head? Pessimistic one? Named Earl?
Who said Aman's implant wouldn't have stripped? Or I bet Hardeek's implant doesn't strip. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Who is that? Boy's voice, girl's voice, old man, young man?
Just a dark evil.
Dark evil. What procedure they show up the most for? Everybody's got a procedure it shows up. I'll tell you what mine is. To this day, I take off a temporary crown.
Ooh.
A voice says,
You're taking the core.
you broke the abutment, you broke the abutment. Because back in '86, I once broke an abutment inside the temporary crown. Since that point,
every single one.
Thousands later, maybe tens later, I still hear. What's your procedure with the voice?
Yeah, probably implants. Or endo. You can do the most beautiful ones. You can see that bone level is still high years later, but all it takes is that one, and then all of a sudden, that's always the one you refer back to. And
so weird.
That implant that failed.
Yeah.
Why do we do that to ourselves?
Yeah, that guy was a smoker. Some people say meth addict. Like, it shouldn't happen on Sue here. Like, this should be.
We're inundated with the pictures, the Instagram, the journals of all these beautiful cases.
Everything that went well.
Yeah.
That one time. They're not
I've not seen a journal of the ones that didn't. They're everyday ones.
We should make a journal.
Could you imagine?
Called The Mediocre Dentist.
Oh, wow.
All it is terrible cases. Our own cases, not like other people, not like we're shitting on other people's cases.
Yeah.
Just be like, this is the best I could, like implant pointing this way and be like, 2
millimeter high prep.
Sorry, pan wasn't working that day. So this is the best I could do.
Yeah.
Gutta percha go into the eye. And be like, I tried my best.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm mediocre. You're in the office, it's Saturday, no one's here, you're just kind of doing some paperwork. Email pops through, you're like, I'll take it, whatever, it's at the front desk. Email says, Betty Sue would like to transfer her records to another dentist. What goes through your head?
Oh, yeah. Like shame and frustration. You just assume it's something on your end. You don't know if they switched jobs. Maybe they got a different insurance plan. The first thing that goes through your head. The first thing is, what did you screw up? What did you do? What could you have done better? Yeah.
Not that they moved across the country. Nothing like
Correct.
that.
Not that their husband became a dentist.
Yeah.
No, you, Chris.
Yeah.
You mediocre. She knows.
We have this illness that we feel like we should be able to care for everybody.
Everybody.
Perfectly.
Everybody
all
in
the
South
time.
Dakota.
Yeah.
Everybody.
All 2 million people who live in South Dakota.
Christy Nome went to Dallas to get veneers. Why did she not come to Mitchell to get them from me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hear that.
Yeah.
How long, if I want an appointment with you, how long I gotta wait?
Probably a couple of weeks, not too far.
It's a couple of week waiting list. I can't even treat the people I need to this week. But if this lady want to leave, they're going to be held to pay.
Yeah.
Lunch is canceled for tomorrow. Everybody come into this office. We're going to review the tapes to see what happened with this patient.
Yeah, what could we have done better? Where did we go wrong?
Even if she calls and be like, change my mind, can I come in tomorrow? We're like, oh, I'm sorry, we're booked for 3 weeks. We're booked for 3 weeks? Can't. But we're lucky that you're back into practice. All right, well, we have a well-known in the Mediocre Dental podcast, there is a running argument between myself and Dr. Jerniski on basic dental skills.
Okay. No, it's not. Okay. Calm down.
The score is currently 6-2 or something like that.
We're coming back. We're making a play. Christopher's not going to let me down.
Chris, you mind playing along, helping us settle a long-standing dispute? All right, I'm going to give you a handpiece right here.
Okay.
Burr's at the end.
All right.
The other way. Yeah, all right, good. We numb the patient. We're going to do a 19 crown, what we say in Canadian, 3-6. All right, patient's numb, mask is on, everything's looking good. You're ready to go, tooth's ready to go. You step on the rheostat, and instead of hearing zzz, you hear, what do we do?
Air-driven handpiece?
Air-driven handpiece.
First thing I would do is spin the bird.
Yeah! Thank you. Put it up on the screen, Sean. What's the current score? Thank you, my man.
Okay. This is rigged. Did he tell you? Did he tell you before?
Hard-working cornfields of America.
Jesus.
American ingenuity. You know what my Canadian wife does?
What does she do?
She sends the handpiece back. Our handpiece bill is $100 million a month.
Probably within $100 of that. Yeah.
Last question. Dr. Chris Hart, one of the most well-rounded, educated dentists in North America. Diplomat of implants, diplomat with sleep apnea.
Not implants, but sleep, yeah.
Sleep apnea, but you place it. Are you part of the college implants? Something?
No, I place implants, but I'm not.
Let's start that question. That's an implant thing with Amon. Didn't you go through their whole thing?
I did some education that they had.
You had
posted.
Congress, something about the Congress?
No.
Oh, okay, let's shut that down.
Fellow of the ACA.
Yeah, we'll get that. Okay, let's start that again. Dr. Chris Hart, last question. One of the most knowledgeable, educated dentists in North America, diplomat with sleep apnea, fellow of the American Academy of Clear Aligners, well-known, well-rounded, well-respected, hygiene years, dental years, community man. How often does Dr. Chris Hart, in his own head, feel mediocre? Once a day, once a week, once a month, once a year?
I think easily once a day.
Once a day?
I mean, pretty much any time something's less than perfect, I think there's always a moment of like, yeah.
Once a day? What's the mom dentist who works a half day on Wednesdays supposed to feel like if she hears Dr. Chris Hart himself is also feeling mediocre?
Yeah, I think it's a lie though. I mean, it's a matter of training yourself. You know, I think that's why we're so hard on ourselves is because we also care so much.
Yeah.
Every filling, implant, veneer, Invisalign case that we do, we just want to do our absolute best. And if it's anything less than, we're disappointed in ourselves. And so anything less than perfection, I do feel like we beat ourselves up.
We just
it's
feel
insane.
like we are
Mediocre.
Well, that's no way to live.
No, it's not.
That's no way to live. And this is the podcast where we have no solutions. We talk about it. We got no solutions. We have never made a person happier on this podcast.
That's not true. That's not true.
But we talk about it, maybe just hearing.
Normalizing it. And just understanding that it's out there. Because it's very healing.
It has to come from other dentists too, because we're not massage therapists. We're not going where somebody's like, I'm so glad to see you. That's we're getting the opposite.
This is an invasive. Yeah.
Yes, we're in the personal space. We're working in the worst possible environment, probably trying to bond to a bacteria, wet, and anxiety, and all these other things. And so, couple that with our disappointment in providing anything less than the best. I mean, it does. It will wear people down. You see it. The statistics in mental health show that.
Yeah.
And so, I think we're probably not going to change the patient perception of dentists anytime soon. So it's got to come from within. It's got to come from other dentists saying, what you're going through is exactly right. We all feel that. Yeah. We are all in that boat. They've got to hear it. Enough with the glossy pictures.
Exactly.
I mean, that's great to share and
sure.
to learn from.
Everyone's entitled to a break.
Yes, yeah. But it's just
But that's not the every day.
No, it's not. I mean, we do
the
thousands.
Every day.
It's the exception.
Is.
Yeah.
We do our
the
best.
mediocre dentist. Yeah. That's who we are on the show. That's who you are too. That's okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks very much, Dr. Chris
Thank
Hart.
Appreciate it. Thank
you so much.
Yes.
Good job, buddy.
Thank you.
That's so much fun.
Glad to have it.
So much fun. Thank you so much.
Sean's got something.
The mediocre dentist, the mediocre dentist. 'Cause sometimes you just feel mediocre. The mediocre dentist, the mediocre dentist. I am mediocre, you are mediocre, and that's not that bad.